Hey Dylan, it's Coach Benley here. I'm just breaking down some of your swings from the last couple of sessions. I put my notes into a Word document I could shoot over to you after the video. What I'm going to do is walk through a couple of things that we're continuing to monitor and from the last video till now and the last couple sessions. And then I'll point out some new points of emphasis I think we should work on going forward. I have a couple video loops of you swinging and then a couple of videos from YouTube and Twitter and stuff to show you as well. So let's start with what we're continuing to monitor, and then I'll go into some of your video loops. So the first thing that's really jumping out at me is your front foot is landing open. I know we've talked about this before. I know we even put the basketball in front of the swing and made sure you can step forward and step on that. So there's two parts of your front foot that I'm a little worried about. The first part is it's landing open, right? We always talk about landing closed at 45 degrees or less. That'll keep the whole front side closed. I know I mentioned that in the last video as well. Landing even with the front foot, when we put the basketball down, I know you were kind of a little worried about how could you still swing without stepping across. We want to make sure we're not stepping across with the front foot. It's going to close off your front side and give you trouble with some different types of pitches. We want to make sure we're landing even and having that front foot closed. And I'll show you what I mean in the video loop. And then just continuing to monitor the approach, making sure we're not being pull happy, using the whole field, breaking the plate into thirds, hitting the ball where it's pitched, right? Recognizing inside, middle, and outside, hitting all pitches to all fields. And we're very big on that type of approach. We want to make sure we continue to work on that. Let me play some of the loops here, and then we'll break some stuff down further. So from the last couple sessions, I've been looking at a couple swings here, and I'll kind of break it down step by step here and go over, the new points of emphasis to take into next time that we hit. And like I said last time in the last video, you've had a lot of success with this swing. It's difficult to kind of change some things, but as the velocity increases, we want to make sure there's not holes in your swing. So let me kind of pull one up here and break it down a little more. Let's take this one here from our last session. Okay, so going back to the doc real quick, 1 second. The things I'm going to talk about are bat angle, which we mentioned in the last video. The top half of the baseball, I'll explain. Your head movement, head down through contact, and then more approach stuff. So let's take a look here. I'll let the loop play through a little bit, and I'll start talking about it. The first thing I kind of want to watch as you look at these swings is watch your head movement. Sometimes you're seeing the ball well. Sometimes I feel like it's opening up. Your head's opening up with your lead shoulder, your right shoulder, and I feel like you're not tracking the ball in all the way. That pitch is coming in 60 feet, 6 inches. You got to track that all the way from the pitcher's hand all the way into the point of contact at the barrel. Sometimes I feel like you take your eyes off at the last split second, and it leads to some mishits. And I'll show you an MLB comparison of a drill that they're doing now to keep their head down. All right, so let's walk through this swing here. So I'll show you some of the things that are concerning and some things that are you do really well as well. So the first thing here is let's watch your hands and let's watch the angle of the bat. I know we talked about it a lot in the last video, but it's a very unorthodox way that you get to your launch position where you're ready to throw those hands and swing. But watch here. You start in a good position here. Right here is not bad. And then as you start heading back more, watch how the way I tried to find, how to tweak a small thing and get some results here. And I feel like it's in your top hand, right? So your left hand, your top hand. Watch how it kind of opens up a little bit. Your palm's going to open right here in these frames. And now look at the angle in which your bat is pointed right there, right? It's pointed like your palm is open and the bat's pointing away from you and up. And I'll show you a video of Christian Yelich in a minute. And I'll show you what we want to do with that. So right here, once again, you're pretty good right here. Watch as you bring it back in your load, back, and now right there. It's pointed up and out. And then before you actually launch, you drop it down towards your back shoulder. So it's almost flat right there, right? And then you whip it through and pull it through at this part. Now this part right here is pretty great. As soon as these hands start coming, I mean, everything else is great. But I'm worried about the position of that bat. So what the ideal position to be is the way you're where you are right there. As you pull it back, let me draw on the screen a little bit. As you pull the bat backwards, right? Your hands get back in your load. It's almost like your hands want to get to this point back here, and you want to have almost a 45-degree with the bat, like this. So if we're, if we're in math class and we're doing angles right here, you want to get to a 45-degree angle. And as you pull back, you kind of open that angle up a lot. So let's play it again. So first of all, look how much the hands drop. Look where they are right here, right? At the bottom of that angle. And then watch the hands travel down as you track the ball. So I talk a lot about avoiding drift as your hands go forward, which you don't have that problem. But I also talk about drop and how your hands drop. So watch as you track, as you load, watch how low your hands get. Now, if your hands get all the way there to this point down here, there's only one place they can go, and that's up. And that's going to lead to a lot of pop outs, right? So other than that, though, watch the bat angle again. Right before you launch, I'm looking for that front foot to land. So you look like you're about to land right there, then you drift forward, 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 land right there. As you land here, I'll change the color. Look at the angle here. So look at the angle here now. You see how different that is at the two angles? How far down you've dropped and how open you've become. So we want to make sure, and I'll clear the screen here. We want to make sure that that top hand is not opening up, your palm's not opening up, and the bat is heading up and out. We want to make sure you stay at that 45 angle, the angle in the yellow right there. And I'll show you the yellowish video right now to show you what I'm talking about. Let me clear this. Okay. So look at I think it's one of the better swings um in baseball. It's Christian Yelich here. So check out the loop of this swing. And there's a lot of things that he does really well, but I want to focus on the angle of the bat in the hands. Okay. Right here. Look at that 45-degree angle he's getting to right there. Look at his arm across his chest. And look at that bat where it is. And think about where your bat was when I drew the pink lines, how your palm's opening up. So I think we should start experimenting with keeping that angle at more of at a 45 and snapping it through with your hands here. Now you have very fast hands. You see the ball well. There's a lot of good things that you do, but we want to make sure that we're fixing that bad angle a little bit. One more time through. As he goes back, look where the top hand is, keeping the bat there, and then he's going to snap it when the front foot comes down. Right there, snap and hands. Okay. So that kind of jumped out at me. Couple more things in the loop I want to show you. So the two things from the last video that I was big on and I'm worried about again is let's look at your front foot. Okay, let's lock in on the front foot here. When you start to come forward on that front foot right here, you can use that white line to show you a couple of the problems that I think you're having. So let me draw across it here. So you start, if I go back a little bit, let's look at your starting position. You're right here. So you're a little closed off already. It's not exactly parallel. But I'll draw on it and leave it there for reference. So we are right through about that line here. Okay, let's play it through. Watch how you step across that line and close yourself off. Right here. Okay, look at your toe. Where your toe is now. I'll change the color. I'll put it in pink. Look at where your toe is now relative to that line. Okay. Do it one more time. And I also want you to notice the second thing here. So that's landing even, right? We got to avoid stepping across with the front side and land even. Think about that basketball that we put there. In the last session, we put that basketball right here, right? So that you couldn't step on it and you had to land even in front of it. Keep that in mind. I also want to look at, let me clear it, how we talked about in the last video as well, but it's important, so I want to focus on it. How you are landing open, right? With your toe pointed almost towards the pitcher here. Okay. When that opens, here goes this knee opening this way, here goes the hip, and here goes the shoulder heading this way. Everything's opening up. What we want to do is close this entire front side off for as long as possible. This whole chain of events here, we want to keep this closed. Okay. Not open. Close it all off until the last second where you snap and open up. So if you land with the front side closed, the front foot closed, it should help. So the two things looking at the front foot and the feet, let's avoid stepping across. Let's land even. And then let's try to land closed at a 45-degree or less. Okay? Now we're talking about a lot of angles today, sorry. A couple more things. Talking about the head movement. You track the ball pretty well. I feel like you're tracking it, not the full length, not 60 feet, 6 inches. So there's a good drill here from one of my favorites, Nolan Arenado. Watch him take BP here. Watch his head movement. Watch the point of contact and watch how his head stays down through contact, and he's working on seeing the ball all the way in, over exaggerating that head movement, not peeling off the last second, not opening up with the front shoulder, seeing the point of contact when the baseball in slow motion would mush with that barrel, right? And then launch off. Keeping your head down through contact. And the best drill that I can recommend, I put it at the end of the document, was over exaggerate this in the drill, right? So regular approach, hit the ball, but finish with your head down and hold your pose, hold your finish up here, and see if your head finishes down on your back shoulder. That's called shoulder to shoulder. Front shoulder, you start locked on. You look at the point of contact through your arms, and you finish on the back shoulder here, just like Arenado. Let me pull up your video and check out the head movement. Some of them you're very good at. Sometimes, here, I'll look at a different clip here. Sometimes it gets a little bit inconsistent. There we go, tracking, tracking, tracking. Right there, you're seeing it pretty well. It's a pretty good shot right there if you're looking down at the barrel. Not all of them are as consistent. Sometimes your front shoulder opens and you lose sight of the ball. It's all about keeping that head still, minimizing movement with the head. So even right there, it looks like you're all over it right here in this frame. This frame, I feel like your eyes are. I know this is nitpicky, but we got to make sure that, especially in a game when curveballs and things like that are coming our way, I feel like you're still tracking over here when that point of contact is about to be, a couple more frames in advance. Let me back up. Right here. We want to make sure that we're staring down the barrel at the point of contact, 60 feet, 6 inches, not 58 feet, 57 feet. But seeing the ball well is only going to help you. And the last thing I put on that doc was, I wonder how productive you would be going forward if you were seeing the ball a little bit deeper, letting it travel a little more, and sticking with the left center approach. My part of my philosophy is that, power to the pull side will come from being a little bit early. It's a timing thing. You're not looking to pull the ball. You may have some more power going to the pull side, but stay up the middle, stay gap to gap, let the ball travel. Don't lunge and reach for the ball. See it deeper. And I would say for the next session, next 2-3 sessions, try to hit everything to left center field, right? Let it get deep, see it over the plate, and hit it right back up the middle towards the left center field gap, almost over the shortstop's head. Stay with that through the spring, and then by the summer or a couple of weeks into your high school season, I think you'd have a lot of success. So let's watch that bat angle. Let's avoid putting balls in the air. All right, I want you to aim for that top half of the baseball. Okay, try to cut the ball in half. Don't climb to the ball and lift to the ball, dropping your hands like we showed in the angles when I drew the yellow and pink angles. Keep our head down through contact. and see the ball a little bit deeper. Try to keep the left center field approach. And then also watch the front foot with the landing and try to land even. I know it's a lot, but if we work on these for the next month or so, I think you're gonna have a huge spring and a huge summer. Any questions, you can reach out to me about any of this stuff. I know it's wordy, I know there's a lot of language, but we'll talk about it in person and just shoot me an email. I'll get back to you right away. I hope this helps and we'll work on it in the next session. Thanks, man.